Okay, so what I'm gonna do is hip fire the fuck out of this thing. Yeah, baby.
I just vape on the viewers real close.
Take it back! Hello, I'm Ed Lee. Welcome back to the Mediocre Militia.
Much better.
Shut it off. Hello everybody, welcome back to Dual Action Duelist, and we got Mediocre Militia here. Today we're going to do a review of the movie Pig with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
So, honestly,
This is like, I mean, we literally just finished watching it,
Yeah.
so this is like a direct, like this isn't like a scripted, we just watched it hot, right out of the gate. Like, I guess just overall thoughts. Did you see the trailer before you watched it, or?
no. Well, I mean, I did when like it was on TV and shit, but I couldn't tell you a single part of the movie that was in the trailer, so.
Right. Because I remember seeing the trailer, and I was, like, going into this, like, expectation-wise, I thought it was going to be, like, a lot more intense, because from the trailer I saw, it really felt like it was going to be kind of like a revenge-driven sort of thing, but really this movie turned out to be more of, like, more of, like, a quest, because it wasn't really revenge-driven much at all. It was just, like, I wanted to know who the fuck took my pig and shit. And I think the trailer had like a really good way of, maybe it was intentionally deceiving or not, but the thing that had me really excited about it was like the trailer it left so many fucking questions. I didn't really exactly know what I was gonna get. Sure, I had expectations, but it didn't like spoil the whole fucking movie and everything. It left a lot to to simmer, to kind of cook over and shit, and it left you with a lot of questions and shit, which was tantalizing.
Yeah. I feel like if I would have watched the trailer, or just at least would have remembered it, I probably would have been disappointed.
Not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Because like I remember in the beginning of the movie, I was like, "What the fuck? So is this like wilderness John Wick type shit?" And then it was like everything about John Wick, but no violence at all.
I mean, there was some violence, well, okay, I guess like this isn't like a spoiler-free thing, so I guess like if you want like a spoiler-free thing, piss off.
Oh, you finally fixed the chair.
You know it.
Whoa!
Yeah.
But I mean, there was like slight violence, like where he got like in that boxing ring and shit, or like those dudes like hit him over the head with the frying pan.
That's what I'm saying, that like he didn't do anything violent. It was like he got the shit beat out of him, and he was like, "Okay, so can you guys just tell me where my pig is now?"
Who has my pig?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. He did. I don't think he did do anything.
He never fought once for the pig.
I mean, like, yeah, like he never like physically fought for the pig or anything, but I mean, like emotionally fought for the pig. Sure, that's a different story, I guess.
Actually, the only time he did fight for the pig was when he grabbed his hunting knife off the counter to try to stop the people from kidnapping.
Oh yeah.
That was the only time he ever tried to fight back the entire movie.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, like you said, it was like a quest.
To stop the destruction of this magnificent planet. This conference is one of the most important meetings in history.
What the fuck?
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Where the hell am I?
Like after watching it, because it did feel, I think it is sort of like one of those more like I don't want to call it like a psychological movie, but like it felt like kind of like like an artsy sort of film, like where like you go like coming out of it, I was like like what am I supposed to do with this? Am I like missing some like bigger picture? Like was there some kind of like overarching like symbolism or something that I was just missing, you know, because I'm like a total fucking airhead.
Honestly, I would have almost rather had no talking in the movie, because there were so many long silences with just dramatic music over it.
I mean, it was
just like Nicolas Cage kind of like staring off in the distance.
Yeah, I mean, it was a slow burn and shit, but I think that kind of stuff, it helped build the atmosphere, but I think if it was just totally silent, it probably wouldn't have caught my attention as well, personally. I mean, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I was kind of on the edge of my seat, like through the entirety of the film. I don't think I was disappointed by it, really.
I was always left expecting more. Like I thought when they were sitting down in that dude's the dining room eating with him, and they cooked him food, when he starts crying after he drinks the wine, I was expecting, okay, they just poisoned this guy's fucking food.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, like, well,
because like it shows them staring at each other across the table, like something's fucking about to happen, and then the dude just get out of my house.
Well, they had previously established that, like, you know, like he because Nicolas Cage's character is like a world-renowned chef that just went off the grid for like 15 fucking years, and so it was like it had been previously established that he just cooked like the best fucking meal for him and his wife ever, that like damn near got them through like a ton of fucking you know, like relationship issues and shit, you know, like and you know, like it was like one of the last, you know, like fleeting moments of like true happiness that they had together or some crazy shit. So it was like there was like a lot of weight on him like cooking that meal. So it was like, okay, is he gonna poison this fucking food, or is he just gonna try to use it as leverage to get his pig back? And it did, but I think that was done really well, because it did leave me like questioning, because I was kind of on the edge of my seat wondering, well, fuck, is he actually gonna kill this dude or not?
I don't know. And I don't know how he just trusted the guy at the end. He's like, oh, the junkies, they were too rough with the pig. He's dead by the time I got it.
Yeah.
That's like, dude, I guess he could have lied so fucking easily. And Rob literally just fucking instantly on the floor breaking down in tears, trusting this guy.
Yeah. That's a pretty good point, you know, because I think it was just kind of like a straightforward, here's a story, we're gonna tell it kind of thing. I mean, maybe there was some like overarching themes and shit that maybe I missed. Like, so I guess I'm just looking at junkies. Yeah. Well, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Is like, he did kind of have to just like take his word for it that like the pig died, but you know, like everything, like considering everything that has happened, like I'm gonna pay these fucking crooks to go out in the woods and steal this pig. And then like there's a point in the movie like where he literally just offers him like $25,000 to just piss off and go back to his home or whatever.
And like, why would he do that if the pig wasn't alive?
What do you mean?
Okay, so this guy told Rob that the pig was dead.
Yeah.
So why would he have offered him $25,000 in the first place to just piss off back home if the pig wasn't alive? Because if it was dead anyway, he could have just told him then, like, look, the pig's dead. What was the point in giving him $25,000 for a dead pig? Bullshit.
I guess guilt, because I mean, like, he didn't know who he was, but at the same time, you know, like, you would think he would have felt guilty about, you know, stealing the pig from him in the first place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why not just tell him? Okay, so either way,
he
gives him $25,000 to just piss off back home because the pig is fucking alive. Or he just tells him, instead of throwing away $25,000, hey, these people I hired weren't reliable and they were too rough with the pig and killed it.
Well, okay, maybe it was like a guilt thing. And he's like, you know, like he was just like, fuck, okay, maybe if I give him like $25,000, that'll kind of, you know, like neutralize some of the guilt or something. And then like he just kept persisting, and then he just had to like just drop it on him. But at the same time, yeah, I guess he could have just been fucking with him. Is like, look, the pig's dead, and then, you know, still, you know, secretly has it maybe.
Right.
So yeah, I guess you do kind of.
I mean, he literally just made it too easy for them to lie.
Okay, well, I'll make the argument that that's one of the reasons the movie was good, because it leads to discussion. You know, like you didn't get everything fucking spoon fed to you, and you know, like there are actually some questions to be left. You know, there's discussion. I'd argue that maybe that's one of the strong points of the movie. I mean, not to mention, I think all the performances were really, really fucking good. Like, like I think Nicolas Cage, can be a really, really great actor when he wants to be,
I don't know how I feel about it.
I think this was definitely one of his better performances. Like up there, like I thought he really sold it, and I thought everyone else was carrying their weight.
How he fits the character of
yeah.
the chef and the fucking mountain man off the grid type shit.
Yeah.
But I honestly I don't know how to describe it. Like I could not say it was great and I could not say it was terrible because I just don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, I thought it was good. I think if I knew someone who was into like movies like that, I'd definitely recommend it to them. But I don't necessarily think I would recommend it to like everyone,
Because it's like, okay, why would they even send someone out there to steal the pig when they could just buy a fucking truffle pig?
Yeah, that's because I guess it's like
It's like it doesn't make
that was
sense.
one of the things that didn't really add up either. Because it's like
how do they know how old the pig is? What if the pig's only got like a couple months to live?
Well, I think you just have to go into it with like the assumption that like this pig is like
God.
Exceedingly better than all of the other truffle pigs or some shit, like it's just profoundly good at its job.
And then it's like they made the point where,
but they didn't even clarify that.
Well, they even said that it's not the pig that was finding the truffles. The trees tell you.
Well,
where
yeah,
the
but Nicolas
are.
Cage revealed that. Like, I mean, like no one else knew whether it was like him finding it or it was like the pig. Like I guess they assumed it was the pig because he had the pig. So clearly he would be using it, you would think, instead of just it being like a company piece.
And then the whole thing about the fucking persimmon tree.
Yeah, that was a little confusing. I used to live at this
house. Where's the persimmon tree?
I think a lot of it. Well, I think that was just like part because because I watched like a little bit of a review after because I just wanted to kind of get like someone else's opinion on it. And it seemed like a lot of the movie was dealing with like like how people can get like stuck in grief and guilt, and I think in the context of the movie that it sort of makes sense because like he had been like a reclusive old grumpy hermit, like out in the woods for the past 15 years and shit, and like he used to live in the city, as like this world-class chef. And I guess maybe that was just him, like going back through his paces and kind of like reliving bits and pieces of his life. Because again, it never really made clear like what happened to his family. But like he had like that little cassette tape that I think like maybe it was like his wife maybe his daughter or some shit maybe made for him. Or yeah, I think it was his wife.
Definitely his wife.
And so maybe he was just going back and
also I kind of
because I guess he was just grappling with like like the pig is like the last thing that he has to hold on to.
Well, I kind of thought, okay, so what it had me thinking and what I thought we'd get at the end of the movie when he's sitting in his cabin listening to the cassette is I figured we'd get a hint towards the pig's name either being like the name of his wife or something, or the pig being a gift from said loved one.
Yeah.
And that's why he was so attached. But like they didn't even explain that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if they did, again,
it was literally
like,
just a pig.
I'm not sure that there would have been like a really good way to explain that without it just feeling like a ripoff of like John Wick, kind of. So really, maybe it might have been like another strong point that they just kind of didn't and just left it up to the viewer to decide that, which I kind of admire that because it's like, so often like again like a lot of like movies and shit just feel the need to spoon feed everything and then like you don't have anything to really discuss afterwards and shit. Because I kind of like sitting here and like kind of trying to like really like rethink everything that just happened and actually kind of like put some thought into this shit.
Yeah.
But I mean I think at the same time there's a point like where like that can become overbearing. Like if you leave too much unsaid, then it's just like, well, what the fuck do I do with it?
Okay.
So it is kind of, I kind of see what you're saying. Like I'm kind of conflicted about it.
like the whole thing. So it makes me think. We could make a plot just as good. Like we obviously couldn't do production quality and shots and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously not as well, nowhere near as good, but like the plot is literally a world-renowned chef that goes off the grid for over a decade, has a pig that sniffs ingredients from the ground that he doesn't even need, and then it gets stolen, and he doesn't even fight for the pig. He just goes and gets his ass beat and asks questions and trusts anything anyone says. He's an over-trusting, passive quest hunter.
Okay, well, sure, but I mean, I don't think it made like any less of a compelling story. Really, I mean, I was entertained.
I think this movie should literally be like the first part of a second movie, because it just seems completely unfinished.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, I think. See, I guess that's where I'm hung up. Is like, did they leave too much unsaid, or not?
I absolutely think so.
Because I mean, like
some stuff I can understand why, but like the others just don't make any sense.
I don't know. I think it was still a good movie because it's like even like my favorite fucking movie, like my favorite fucking movies ever. You know, like no movie is perfect. You know.
Yeah.
And I can find gripes about like even like my like top fucking 3 movies or whatever. Like my favorite movie of all time is Tremors. That movie's got some fucking problems and shit. But it's still a fucking fantastic movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Pig maybe it didn't necessarily hit like the mark for like, you know, just being like groundbreaking, over the top, you know, award-winning movie or some shit. I think it's still really good.
I don't see how people can call it a masterpiece. I don't think it's anywhere near a masterpiece.
Maybe I'm missing something. I mean,
like the production was really good.
The acting, the production,
but like other than that, it's
I thought the
story just it feels just like lazy and thrown together.
I don't know. I mean,
like something compared to like money a lot of throw around,
compared to like a lot of shit
to go get his pig, and then the junkies are literally too stupid to not kill the fucking pig. And then he goes on this whole fucking thing and just trusts the guy at the end of the movie.
I think
like
I think the taking the guy's word for it maybe was the biggest plot hole.
Like, what reason would he have to trust him?
I mean, I don't know. He did just like break down, and he clearly like, I mean, you could tell from like the way he was acting that like he feels like immense guilt from his actions and shit. So I mean, maybe that would be enough to like actually take his word for it. But I mean, it also doesn't show, because you know it cuts from like him on the floor crying to like at the diner with the guy's son. So it's like, I mean, there could have been something in between there, like where, you know, like they talk it out afterwards and shit.
That's another thing too that I had a problem with, is him trusting the son.
Well, I mean, he'd already like previously like established, you know, like they've been in business for a while and shit.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I'll give you that, but that is the only fucking kid or person that's been out there consistently every week, learning the lay of the land, to know exactly how to get.
Well, yeah, he said at one point, he's like, you know, fuck, I'm sorry that I told him about your fucking pig, and shit. So I mean, he did address that. You know, he's like, I didn't think they'd fucking come and take your pig or whatever.
Right, but from his point of view, he would have the easiest plan, or he would have the easiest situation to get out of. Like if he were the one to take it, or if he were the one to set that up.
I don't think he would do that.
He's the only dude's friend, which makes him know that he's the only guy that Rob would trust.
I really don't think.
I mean, I don't think he would do that either. But I'm saying he has the easiest position to do that.
Well, sure. Well, I think. Well, I mean, he said that like he told them about it, and I think that's just what happened. Because I mean, I don't really see him calculating a fucking plan like that. Or even being...
It wasn't even calculated.
I mean, he's just sort of like a pushover. I mean, like, he's kind of just, you know... I don't really know how to, like, put it, like, any different than that. I mean, that sounds a little harsh, but, like, I mean, he does sort of just seem like a pushover.
He is, yeah.
So I don't really think he would have been, like, the grand archetype of, like, that kind of fucking plan and shit. I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. And then it's kind of weird how, like... he just fucking, they get out of the diner and he's like, so I'll see you next week. Like, back to it. Fucking Negan, Walking Dead with Glenn. Back to it.
Back to it.
But I mean,
Like, what the fuck was the point of it?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the movie felt like really, really grounded in reality and shit. You know, like it wasn't
Right, because he was just like a fucking totally average dude.
Well, I guess
other
a
than
lot
the fact
of it.
that he was a good cook.
I guess a lot of it was kind of like crazy and exaggerated and shit, as if like there's like this whole like truffle, you know, like kingpin situation.
Okay,
like,
yeah, it literally made me feel like it was like a drug lord situation.
Yeah. I thought
But
it was kind of fun.
Just like a reskin, and
Yeah.
the drugs are truffles.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of fun.
Because that's like exactly how I thought of the dude at the end of the movie too, the kid's dad. I just instantly thought in my head like, okay, this is the drug lord like raid boss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least, you know, I think that was kind of a fun idea because I mean, at least they gave you something that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
But I think I got kind of off track. I can't remember what the fuck.
It was like the pig was contraband or something.
Because
Because like when he goes to the place where the druggies are, they tell him about the pig, and she's like, "Oh my god, they brought the pig here!"
Yeah, they never really made it clear like why that chick like made like such a big deal out of that. You know, it's like why she got so bent out of shape about like them stealing his pig because you would. It never really. It
was like
never
they were
really
cheating.
added up to like what was her like relationship with him like what.
I don't even think there fucking was one. I think it was like, okay, so this is like a Call of Duty League thing. Like they're at fucking the esports championship, and these fucking druggies bring in like an aimbot hack, and that aimbot hack is the pig.
It's
to the truffle finding.
I guess
business.
I guess she said that she was almost asking it or like acting as if there's you know like some kind of like mafioso like code or some shit, you know, like
a Mandalorian code.
Yeah, it's like, well, you don't, you know, these are the fucking standards. There are standards met if you're going to be a truffle hunter, and stealing someone's pig is fucking out of the question.
You have to win the pig in battle.
I mean, like, I guess it felt kind of goofy, you know, but it was like, okay, you know, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief and, you know, just go along with it.
Yeah, there were so many times in the duration of the movie where I was just kind of like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't really think it necessarily took away from the movie because I mean it was still fun. It kept me on the edge of my seat. Like I think there was a good amount of tension, and like I was never like taken so far out of the movie that you know, or I guess I was never really like taken out of the fucking movie. But there were times where I'm just kind of like that, huh?
Yeah.
You know, but it was never something like super overbearing to like where I was just like fuck this movie or just like not paying attention, don't give a fuck or something. I think it was a solid movie, personally. I think it's better than most of the shit that's been shoveled out there for.
I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd give it like
story wise, I'd give it a 6 out of 10, but everything else, I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
I'd probably give it like a 7.5. Like
because like the story is what's really dragging it down, and like all of the long silences with just music, with just the characters staring.
I think
they really dragged it along.
I think maybe that's what really helped a lot, because I think if the movie was too dialogue heavy, again, it would have just been more opportunity for them to just spoon feed you everything and shit. But I think like because I think it's harder to like convey like like an emotion or like an action or something without saying something than saying something, you know. I think maybe that's why like the performances felt really, really strong, especially from Nicolas Cage, because you don't get like the LMNOP fucking kind of like Nick Cage and shit, like the crazy over the top shit. Because he really had to come back and like really kind of like focus on how he wanted to do this shit, because he can't just like say it, you know.
I don't know. It's like
because it'd be easier to say I'm angry and then like frown versus like actually like find like a deeper way to convey anger, you know.
Man, I don't know. It's hard for me to put a point down on this about how I feel. Cause like when he's in the underground place with Edgar or whatever that dude's name was.
Yeah.
And he just went down there and wrote his name on the wall, then put his hands behind his back to get punched a lot to beat a timer, and then stood up and then finally said, "Where's the pig?"
Yeah.
So like 10 minutes of camera action, no words, and then where's the pig?
Well, I think that scene. I think it kind of helped. Because okay, he didn't want to go into this movie like hurting people. You know, he didn't want to go into this scenario hurting people. So I guess like that was the best way he could do it.
Yeah, but
You know,
like it
to
doesn't
like
even
find
explain...
resolution without hurting people. He was willing to let himself get hurt.
Yeah, but it doesn't even explain like what, like how that even makes sense. Like, so okay, so say this is a way for these companies and people to make money down there, and you just have to last a certain amount of time by when getting hit.
Yeah.
The longer you last, the more you get paid. So how does that make money for the underground if they're just giving out money to people getting their ass beat in the first place?
Well, it depends on who's placing bets on who. Because if that one guy, because I mean, okay, like regardless, if you're gonna be a part of that, like whoever the fuck owns the place is gonna get a cut of that fucking money regardless.
Yeah, but like think about it. Who would ever place a bet on the dude getting his ass beat? It's not like Rob was known for kicking ass and killing people like John Wick. He was a chef.
Yeah, but he didn't kick anyone's ass.
That's what I'm saying.
He showed up and just.
And they even put their money down for him when he was there. Like he was renowned for being like this fucking.
Well, I mean,
steroid
maybe at one point he did. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't enough fucking context.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. Well, do you really want it spoon fed to you, or do you want?
I don't want it spoon fed, but I'd like an inkling of thought about so I can make my own decision.
I think it's funner to imagine that, you know, like, well, I don't know. It's like if it was strong enough, obviously there's like enough to him that all those people bet the fucking money on him.
Right, but it's they didn't even explain why. The only thing we know about his backstory is that he was a good chef. It's the only thing we were given about his backstory.
Well, apparently he had connections to the truffle mafia. And he was a fucking hard ass.
I need to make a fucking meme out of that. The truffle mafia.
It's I don't fuck. Or I was going somewhere with that other thing.
These motherfuckers in Oregon really be dealing drugs over truffles. I don't understand.
I had something else to say, but I don't remember where the fuck I was going with it.
Well, you got plenty of time because I'm in the same fucking boat as you. I don't know what the fuck to say. Because I'll just cut out this blank part or leave it in so the viewers can watch a bunch of empty dialogue like the fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah, let me
just stare at the camera.
Let me act out. Yeah, let me act out without saying anything how I felt about this movie. I was really about to just smack this thing into the fucking camera. Just literally knock that fucking tripod over. But
I mean that's
I don't want to fuck
it.
your shit up.
That's 85% of the movie.
It's not 85% of the movie.
Okay, 60. A fair 60.
It's not 60%.
Dude, they were definitely quiet longer than they were talking.
I would say it's a fair.
Because think of how many
I wouldn't say
different
60.
scenes.
I'd say maybe 53. Maybe 53. Maybe even I would
50 to 60.
55. I'll meet you in the fucking middle.
Okay, fair enough. Because think of how many of the scenes were just them riding in the car.
Yeah, but again,
and,
I think that was one of the strong points of the
Ooh.
movie. Is because if they just you know you get too much fucking dialogue and it just gets boring. Because it's like I kind of like it. It's sort of like what's the best way I can describe this? It's like okay, you see a nice looking lady walking down the street because I know you're a fucking hound dog.
Hound dog's gonna eat that pussy.
And okay, it's like you're like damn those fucking shorts or whatever, and it's like the shorts kind of like leave a little bit to the imagination.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's like it's like
right, but do I just sit there in silence and just creepily stare at her with ominous music behind me?
Well, I'm just saying it's it's like sure you can sit down and watch porn and see naked chicks all the fucking time and shit.
Sure.
But I mean is it not refreshing to to just see someone in underwear or something because it's kind of leaves a little bit to the imagination.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that, you know, like in the same way, it's like with the lack of dialogue and shit, and you know, like maybe like they don't just establish every single little fucking detail, that it leaves a little bit to the imagination, and I think that's what leads to a lot of the fun. Maybe it felt like like they were kind of, you know, like leaning on that a little heavy.
Okay, here's another thing. Since you brought up the whole porn thing, and this is just an example, is porn ever just quiet?
I mean,
is
sometimes.
Porn ever just
I guess it depends on the
silence?
I mean, I guess it depends on like what you want. Well, okay, it's like I think like a lot of amateur shit usually is. It depends, like if you're watching like studio production shit, because they always have to have like dialogue and shit. I guess it just depends.
Okay,
depends
I'm not talking about the plot steady porn.
Okay, but you're
where
gonna
it's like a dude standing with a
fucking
lampshade on his head. I'm saying like in general. I'm saying the majority is not just empty, absolute silence.
I think a lot. I mean, like I've noticed that like a lot of like amateur shit is usually like a lot more quiet. I mean,
Okay,
so, like
I'm talking about in general.
Like
I'm not talking about
clapping or
just
whatever.
amateur or like fucking Android phone quality or top of the line fucking Bang Bros or Brazzers. I'm just talking in general.
I think porn with a lot of dialogue sucks.
I know, I'm not talking about porn with dialogue though. I'm talking about just the sex.
Again, I think that depends. That depends on what kind of porn you're watching. it just...
All I'm saying is, like, look at all the memes and shit where it's like, okay, man, you need to make more noise in bed. And then it's like, it cuts like fucking Muscle Man, like making some stupid fucking noises. It's like, it's made it to meme tier quality, so it's a real fucking thing.
Well, okay, I think if you have to make noise during sex, the sex probably isn't all that good.
Okay, I think if you're sitting in absolute silence and just
well,
clapping
if you can enjoy it in complete silence, then it must be pretty good.
Okay.
So
for my brother in Christ.
So, what's your argument there?
I'm saying, if you have somebody's face buried in a pillow and it's literally just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, no noise, no expression, you're just gonna be like, well, all right, okay. I'm not doing a bang up job.
Okay, like if the expression is just like dead face, that's a different story.
That's what I'm saying. Basically,
we didn't say anything. Like that. You were talking about noise. You didn't say anything about the expression.
Well, noise is an expression.
How the fuck can we compare pig to sex?
Because it's quiet. It's absolutely silent, and I'm saying that's something that makes it bad. Like, okay,
what made pig good was that it was quiet and atmospheric and moody.
I don't know.
It's two totally different fucking things from sex. Two totally different fucking things.
He brought up the fact that he did not fuck the pig.
I forgot about that scene. That was funny as fuck.
No, I didn't fuck the pig.
You just hide in the fucking woods and fuck your pig. I actually don't fuck the pig. It kind of felt, it sort of felt like that.
That was probably the best part of the movie.
The shit from Big Mouth. That he's like, I don't wear the bra.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't fuck the pig.
I don't fuck the pig. I don't know. Maybe he should. Maybe.
Well, you want it to be a fucking porno so bad, so
no,
I guess, maybe he should fuck the pig to appease Wyatt. Wyatt wants to see Nicolas Cage having sex with a truffle pig.
Man.
Cute little piggy finds Nicolas Cage's truffle.
Oh, no. Digs out his truffle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't give it an amazing review here. I think it was very...
I think it was good, but I don't think I'd put it anywhere near like the tippy fucking top or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to seem like like I'm I don't want that to sound like diminishing in like any means, because it is. I do think it was better than most of the shit I've seen in like the past fucking 20 years ago into the movies.
But like, what can we even fucking compare it to? Like, what else does it stack up against?
Well, what do you mean? Like in general? Because I mean, look at like half of the schlock they put out on Netflix, and it's just
but I mean,
garbage.
I'm saying like, okay, it has to be something similar. Like, it can't be like, okay, this versus the fucking Kim Kardashian.
I don't know, like maybe like The Lighthouse or Mother. Like it kind of felt like maybe like something along the lines of
okay,
those.
If we're comparing it to Lighthouse, this movie was fucking dog shit.
Oh yeah, I like The Lighthouse way more than I did this. Sure. Like whatever, fine, whatever.
Like, I mean,
I'd say it's like it's
something
close,
that would have spiced this movie up was actually seeing them kill the pig. Like, if the audience knew that the pig was dead, Just like, okay, so like say Willem Dafoe, say there was a side character that came in and like they heard that Robert Pattinson violated this seagull and turned it into mushroom paste. And then some side character came along and Dafoe was like, okay, so listen, this guy I've been living here with for a long time, he killed a seagull. Like, why would they trust him? But like the audience seen Robert Pattinson kill the seagull, so we knew it was dead.
Well, that's just, you're just looking at it from like the because not everyone has like the same fucking twisted sensibilities that we do. Like not everyone is like. I imagine everyone that watched not everyone that watched The Lighthouse got a jolly out of seeing him just thrash a fucking seagull.
I know, but I'm not saying I wanted to see them literally like skin this fucking pig alive. I'm just saying like maybe they threw it in the trunk and slammed its head and it killed it. Like the audience would need the confirmation to not be questioning like I am. Okay, is this guy really lying?
Are you having a good time sitting here and discussing this movie?
Yes.
Okay, well then that's why they did it, because it actually leaves it to discussion. We have to decide if that guy was bullshitting or not, and that's part of the fucking.
I think
fun.
He was. I don't see why he wouldn't. Because like, okay, if he didn't offer them the $25,000 to piss off, then I'd say okay, the pig's probably dead. But if the pig was dead, okay, yeah, sure, you can bring guilt into it. But even then, he didn't have guilt in the first place, so why would he now? And he does this other shit all the other time. He does shit like this all the other time. If he's gonna do it now, and just be like, oh well, it's some dude, we don't know who he is. He's just some dude out in the mountains. He's a worthless fucking piece of shit. Just go steal his pig because we can use it more than he can.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he finds out it's a world-renowned chef, and now he feels bad about it.
Well, I think he knew from the entire time. There's no way he fucking didn't, right?
That's what I'm saying.
He heard from his son, and he knows.
So if he already knew, no, he couldn't have known because his son didn't know the guy's real name. He didn't know who he was. He just knew he got trouble.
I guess that's true. So maybe he did just like.
Because Edgar said to him, he's like, "Do you even know his real name?" He said that to him when he was down there getting his ass beat or something like that, or when he went to see Edgar first in the city.
So I guess maybe they did just assume he was just some nobody with a truffle pig.
Yeah. Actually, they did think that because remember when he went to that restaurant to the dude he had fired before, and he wanted to talk to the chef, and then he was like,
"Actually,
oh my God, Robin Fell."
I want to take a moment to like an isolated moment to like admire that.
That guy
scene.
was a freak.
That scene was crazy. I that may have been one of the most tense fucking scenes out of any fucking movie I've ever watched in my entire fucking life. Like where he's just like he comes out and then like he realizes who he's talking to. He's like, oh my God, and he's like just totally elated to even be sitting next to this guy and shit. And then like Nicolas Cage is just leveling with him, just like ripping his fucking aspirations to shreds and just being like, look, dude, you're full of shit and you're not even happy with your own life, and I'm just looking right through you. And like he's just like constant. I mean, you can't see my face.
Constant
like,
smile.
Yeah, he's got like that kind of like. He's trying to hold the smile, but he's really trying not to just fucking cry and blow his fucking brains out all over the patrons of his fucking restaurant.
Yeah, for real.
That scene was
He's
fucking
like, it's not what the people want. They
crazy.
don't want a pub.
That was probably some of the best acting. I mean, sure, that was just like one scene. That scene alone was just.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
I don't think I breathed once. Like I was totally just holding my breath. I couldn't fucking look away. That was a great fucking scene. That was hard to watch.
Yeah, that guy kind of reminded me of the Riddler.
I can kind of see it, like if maybe he was like older or some shit, like Paul Dano if he was like a lot fucking older, kind of sorta.
But okay, so it's like so Rob had such an effect there on the chef and why do I keep saying chef? Retard chef, and so why didn't he do that with? Like any other time.
Why didn't he do what?
In the movie. Like why was he not that effective at any other point in the movie than he was with that guy?
Well,
he knew him in the past and stuff. But
I think that's the leverage he had on him. And he just knew he was full of shit because his food is garbage. And he knew that like this isn't what he's actually passionate with on top of the shitty food. So he's just like, okay, well obviously this guy's full of shit and I can get inside of his head. I don't think he didn't have the leverage with the other people. So I don't know. But I guess, I guess he did have leverage towards the end of the movie on the other guy, and that's why he cooked that fucking meal and found that wine and shit. He just needed to find the right button to push or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
But again, it still leaves the question of like, was he actually just bullshitting him or not?
I really think he was.
Oh man.
Because, like, if he's such an easy target and, like, this guy knows, okay, so Rob's not going to do anything violent. He's just here for answers and he's about to cook me a nice meal. If I act like I get emotional and really seal the deal here, I can get him to just fuck off and then I can use this pig to find the gold mine of truffles. Because he knows there's no threat. It's not like he's going to get answers tortured out of him. And if he just gives him what he wants to hear, then he'll leave. It's literally so easy. We could fucking lie our way out of that.
I don't know, because if we were just like...
I could.
That was, then that was a pretty compelling fucking lie, because, I mean, there was, like real serious, like, emotion and shit, you know. I really don't, personally, I think the pig died. I think the pig died. I really do. I don't think he was bullshitting him.
Okay,
and
so
maybe that's just me like put it. Like,
then why would the junkies not have said? Okay, so the junkies were afraid of him, and they were giving him every fucking answer he wanted to hear. The guy at the end said that the pig was dead by the time he got it from the junkies, but the junkies were like, "We gave it to this guy. We gave it to this guy," and was never like, "It was already dead though. The pig was already dead."
Well, if they're retarded junkies, they might not even know the difference here or there.
What if a pig's fucking lifeless corpse isn't moving and it was just screaming like minutes ago?
Okay, so what did the guy say? Is like by the time he got it?
By the time he got there and picked up the pig, it was dead. So bullshit.
Well, okay, well, you have to ask the question is like, was there like a middleman in between them and shit?
No, because he said he got it from them.
Well, yeah,
and they even said they gave it directly to him.
Technically, well, did they say that?
Yeah,
they directly gave it to him. Because I don't remember.
They said they gave it to him.
Well, okay, so I mean, it still could have been like twitching or some shit. Because it's like, okay, it's like, you know, if someone's like still like drawing breath, but it's like clearly fucked. You know, like you can just call a spade, like, okay, he's fucked, he's dead. You know, his ass is hosed. I mean, it still could have been. Well, this again, like, here we go again. This is like us having the fucking discussion.
Right. I'm just saying it. From a totally intellectual point, it makes no sense for him to offer money, even if there's guilt. If he was guilty, he would have told him in the first place that it was dead instead of offering $25,000 for a fucking corpse.
Well, I think that still kind of makes sense because it's like, okay, he like
I don't know how.
Well, because I mean, like maybe like he felt like if I just give him some money because he doesn't have the heart to tell him that maybe that'll make him feel a little better about himself. Because, I mean, like, he did persist until he just, like, had to fucking say it. Because it really didn't seem like he wanted to tell him that the pig was fucking dead.
I don't know, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either. It's totally up for speculation.
I can't be convinced that the pig is dead.
I think it's dead as fuck, dude.
Because, like, if they're already at this hierarchy of the point, or if this guy specifically is at the hierarchy of the point that he is, there's no way he got there being that dumb.
I mean,
you would have to have a contingency for everything.
Okay, so I'm like weighing this as on like you know, like because I can certainly see how like the pig could still be alive and shit, but like I'm leaning more towards the pig is dead. But I could certainly be convinced that it is still alive because you know, he does again still have to like take his word for it and like, you know, like the junk. Well, I mean, at the same time though, it's like, I mean, like, could the junkies have been lying? Because I mean, like, what? Well, like, I mean, like, anyone could have been lying about like the stories from like either the main dude, like the boss dude, and like the junkies. Like either one of them could have been lying.
Okay, well here's another thing.
And like twist it one way or
fucking
the other.
Resilient. Pigs are very fucking resilient. So how could they just be too rough with it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Like, were they literally in there like?
I mean, maybe they tried
elbowing the fuck out of the pig,
like
or
how they hit him. I mean, maybe they tried to knock it out because it was screaming and shit. I mean, I don't know.
It just doesn't make any sense. I feel like if it was dead, they'd give us enough context to confirm that it was dead.
Who knows, dude?
I don't think a masterpiece of a movie is something you have to think this much about.
What do the viewers think? Is the pig alive or dead?
Yeah, honestly, if you made it this far, comment dead or alive.
Leave a comment. Leave 3 comments. Spam your comments. is the pig alive or dead? If you want us to see it, you're gonna have to spam it multiple
honestly.
times.
If you disagree with the fact that he didn't fuck his pig, let us know your
Yeah.
thoughts in the
Did
comments.
Nicolas Cage have coitus with Le Pig?
Le Pepe. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know.
Was
I guess
pig an ancestor of Peppa Pig?
final thoughts, I guess.
Like general scoring.
Yeah, sure. We'll go back.
I think I'm still stuck with like a 7 to a 7.5, somewhere like in that. I give it like a
overall.
I give it like a 7.3. Just like I'm gonna meet myself somewhere in the middle of those two. 7.3.
If I wasn't so conflicted with the story itself or the many silent scenes where they could have added just a little bit of contextual information, my score would be higher. But with everything put together, I'd say like a 7 total. Like just a flat 7 overall. And even then, personally, I feel like I'm being a little bit too generous. But I'll stick with a 7.
I think maybe I'd actually kind of change mine to a 7. Because, again, I do think, like... I think the movie was done really well, but maybe, like, they did lean a little too heavy in some places with, like, maybe a little more context. I don't know. I'll give it a 7. Because there are probably movies that I like more that I gave a 7.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or like a 7.5 or something.
Because most of the time...
I'll give it a solid fucking 7, and it's not moving from that there.
Yeah. Most of the time, you and I enjoy movies about the same. The only time we're really different is when it comes to, like, superhero movies.
Hey,
that's honestly the only time it's really different.
I might give this a higher ranking than a lot of Marvel movies.
I know you would. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's like, okay, you have to be fucking fair, and it's like most Marvel movies, you know, it's like, okay, they're gonna run into a problem, they're gonna reach their lowest point, and then they're gonna rebound and defeat the villain, kind of shit. Like this movie had like some twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, and I still don't even know how to feel about it, and I like having like discussions about it and shit. Sure, you can have like an awesome discussion about a Marvel movie and shit, but it's like, you know, it's usually the same formula. Now, sure, there's like a lot of like different like crazy idiosyncratic characters and like all kinds of like crazy spectacles and powers and this and that and this and that.
Well, here's the thing.
Shit.
I'm not a huge fan of them always winning, and that's why Infinity War. Yes, this is branching off, but whatever. That's why I think Infinity War is one of the best Marvel movies because they lose.
Well, yeah, but
everyone fucking loses.
In the end, yeah, but I mean, like, it's just like part one of part. Like 2 parts,
right? But like I'm telling you, when I was in the
theater,
theater,
it is all one big movie.
When I was in the theater, I never experienced anything like that ever before.
Oh yeah,
I was literally like,
crazy.
I was like my soul had just been absorbed by like some mega demon. Like I was like, oh my god! Like when Cap is sitting there beaten half to fucking death, and he's just panting, and he's like, oh god.
Yeah, the
funny. Realization sets in. They're gone. They're dead. Yeah. Everyone just lost.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them balls for doing that, but it's like at the same time, well, sure, like not everyone came back, but it's like the majority of them came back and shit.
But I don't know. That's just how I fucking experienced that. But I mean, is there anything else?
I don't think so. I'm sure I'll 30 minutes from now I was like, fuck, I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot
probably.
This fucking thing.
All right, well, that was our review on Pig with Nicolas Cage. Leave a comment. I guess what I'm most interested in is if you guys think the pig is dead or alive. So if you want, leave a comment about that.
Yeah. Did he fuck the pig?
Yeah, did he fuck the pig? Check out Mediocre Militia on YouTube as well. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya. Subscribe, or there will be consequences.